Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online challenge. We're back once again with Temur Eldrazi Ramp on the play for game one with a pretty good hand. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a solid turn 3 kicked Myco Spawn. Slight change to the list. We are running a one of Sire of 7 Deaths. Found that it's genuinely a difficult card for... Let's see, let's do red. It's a genuinely difficult card for Eldrazi Ramp to deal with in the mirror or against Tron. And so for that reason, I decided, why not just run a copy of our own in Temur? I know that normally in Gruul you'd run like 2 of, 4 of copies by comparison. So running a 1 of here, we did go down on Devour again. Devour just still not really putting up good numbers in comparison to Null Drift or in comparison to Worldbreaker. Writhing Chrysalis is positive, so Mega Spawn's positive. Worldbreaker, Null Drift are both positive. This looks like it might be Hollow One if I had to bet. Faithless Looting. So they're looking for Hollow Ones. That's what's happening right now. They're looking for Hollow Ones. I mean, if they drop like 3 Hollow Ones, we are severely SOL. Trying to double Detectives Phoenix in Yard? Jesus. Uh-huh. Okay. Sure. That's a thing you just did. I'm actually tempted to course correct here and go Sowing Myco Spawn non-kicked for a Bajuka Bug because, I mean, really can't do anything about those Phoenix. So I think that's what we do. I'll cast the Sowing Myco Spawn. And then Bajuka Bug you. I then have to determine whether or not I'm going to block. I think I should in this instance. But yeah, we really do not want these Hollow Ones flying. If I can help it, that is. 5 to 4 and 4 to 2. Yeah, we have good options here. Bolt. Well, I mean, I'll take the bolt, honestly. That's fine. Mako, that's fine. We'll take the 8. 2 cards in hand, down to 10. And draw. I guess we can't actually rumble, can I? Well, I can, but I'd have to cast Writhing Chris first. Writhing Chris. Play Sanctum of Ugin. Play Talisman of Curiosity. Go down to 9 and rumble. This way I have 3 blockers. Another Chrysalis is intriguing to me, though we might go Null Drifter instead. I mean, the Chrysali just put up such a significant wall that I think we do need to go for Chrysalis. Grab Chrysalis and then pass. So they can't really attack all too well here. 3 cards in hand. And like I said, as much as I would like that Null Drift, I think just bogging up the board right now is the right move. 2 Bowmaster targets. Targeting a spawn might not be a bad idea, but if they do, they don't get the tokens, so give and take, I suppose. I mean, those are the only two options. Even targeting Chrysalis right now wouldn't really be worth it because it's going to grow to a 5/6 regardless. So unless you have a Bolt in hand. We'll sack and response trigger. Always yield. So we can block two hollow ones and take the one from Mako. Let's say your opponent really go to blocks, block and block, and sack and trigger and pass in full. So we'll take the one down to 8. Do you have a bolt? Fatal push? Nothing? Okay. Another rumble. So in that case, green. Oh, you son of a. Thankfully it worked out in my favor, but still 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it didn't. Son of a. I hate the auto tapper so much. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Commercial district, trigger. Chrysalis top. And pass. Yeah, I needed to tap the bog beforehand, so that way I could have still played the Chrysalis, yada yada yada. It might cost me, we'll see. Thankfully still have 2 blockers. All I want into yard. We'll have the ability to respond. Yeah, if that cost me, I'll be kind of pissed. Like, it's not an auto tapper, just like I wanted to tap. I needed to tap one more so it didn't automatically assume I wanted to cast that. The way that the mana management works is just very awkward, I found. 3. Magus is fine. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're just going to sweep board then. Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's make sure we do this smart. Sack, trigger. And we'll go after one of your lands. Yes, we'll sweep. And I don't foresee a situation where I need to double block, so we'll attack in. Yeah, if we had the Chrysalis from last turn, we would have been able to win there, but oh well. I think this is a GG's regardless. Interesting to see Magus of the Moon main, though. I think that's the most surprising thing out of this. Hollow 1, win for game 1. We'll bring Dismember and returns. Excuse me. Cut down Devour. Emrakul. Let me actually confirm if I have a list specifically for Hollow 1. Excuse me again. Let's see. No, doesn't look like it's high enough on the list, funny enough. Really? Could have sworn that it had enough of a play rate. I think I make a sideboard guide for anything that has a 1% play rate or higher. So I'm surprised not to see Hollow 1 in that list. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I do this. Emrakul, Devourer, keep Sire, Null Drifter, Breaker. And we can drop on Ghost Quarter. You want the Gemstone for now. Later we can bring back in an Emrakul or Devourer if we go to game 3. Let's run it back. I swear I must be allergic to something in my recording room. Either that, maybe it's just a bit more dusty in here. But I feel like my allergies always get worse when I record. This is interesting. I'll keep. Let's go Gemstone, Exile, Forest. Tempted to actually exile the Windswept Teeth, but we have a Talisman, so I'll exile the Forest. And we'll pass. Cliffs. Mako. So I'll hold up command X equals 1 then. I was wanting to play the Talisman, but that seems to be the better choice. But we could go Utopia Sprawl. I mean, it'd kind of be the same idea as like Temple Talisman, right? Well, let's go Temple. And we'll hold up the command. Faithless Looting triggers. I mean, we're just trying to get to Emrakul on like turn 3, turn 4 at this point. Short of Malevolent Rumble, I don't think we get there, but it's definitely going to be a possibility. Opponent's thinking hard on this one. Interesting. Well, it could be such a big decision. If we do see a Detect this Phoenix in Yard, and they don't have a land drop or they have a trigger in between, we'll get rid of the Mako beforehand. No Phoenix, okay. Trigger. Go to combat. Let's just get rid of you now. Wonder if they missed the land drop. Well, then why would they pitch the Marsh Flats? That doesn't make sense, right? Mako down. There's a land drop and Hollow one. Okay. And draw. So we can go Windswept Heath. Fetch. Forest. Sprawl. For red. Talisman. And pass. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we're only 3 off the Emrakul. So we're in a decent spot. Like I said, one Malevolent Rumble gets us there, I think. Because it's a net 0. Because it would add 1 type to Yard, plus give us the spawn. So if it hits 3 types, we would simply get there. I'll take the 4. No blocks. Down to 15. Moon Swamp. Do you have a Magus? Looks like it. Maybe. Maybe not. I guess the only thing about Rumble is pretty unlikely that we hit the 3 types we need, because it would be enchantment, creature, and artifacts. Creature is pretty easy. It's the enchantment and artifact that are less than likely, just because we'd only have 3 hits of each. Definitely not outside the realm possibility, but definitely less than likely of us getting to Emrakul next turn if we draw into a Meltdown X2. Okay. That's fine. Like, them taking that entire turn to do that? Hell yeah. Let's fetch with the Wooded Foothill. And let's grab a forest. And kick with a Myco spawn. So now they actually added a type to Yard, so it doesn't really change much for the math of Emrakul. Where now, actually, if my opponent attacks, which I imagine they will, and we block with the Myco spawn, that'll add a 5th type to Yard. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we, at this point, do have Emrakul on turn 4. So that's pretty good. They incidentally helped me out. I confirm one more time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We already have it, but I don't exactly want to take the 4 damage, so I will block. And this guarantees us having it, even if they were to, let's say, Bowmaster the spawn, right? Mako. Well, no real reason to go Myco spawn here. But actually, let me take a look. It's only 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 minus 2 would be 12, so no. So yes, we will simply cast Emrakul this turn. Tis an Emrakul. Our turn, comrade. Tis a Charmal and a Detective's Phoenix. Bloodstained Mire. So let's go Bloodstained Mire, fetch. Let's take a look at your deck. Anything that I'm really worried about? Terminate. Are you a sorcerer or an instant? You're an instant, so yeah, I don't foresee you having a way of dealing with this Emrakul. We'll fail to find. We will attack. And attack in with the hollow one. Go to blocks. And then we could just bestow onto the Mako. That way we can clear out their Grave of the Faithless Looting. And everything else for that matter. Alright. There you go. Have fun. Next turn we'll kick a Myco spawn. We'll get rid of red source. That way they can't play the Charmal. And trying to think if we have any other plays here. I think just sowing Myco spawn, kick, grab a commercial district to set up our next draw, unless we draw into something better. So like a World Breaker, Devourer. I guess we cut Devourer, so probably like a Sire 7 Deaths would be good. Pretty difficult, if not impossible, for them to deal with. Tis another Goyf. We draw. A Jukabog. Oh, let's cast Myco spawn. Kick the mountain. No Charmal for you. And does opponent scoop it up? No, not yet. I mean, we attack him with the Emrakul. I'll take 3, whatever, right? I mean, the most they could do as far as buff the Mako is Street Wraith, I'm pretty sure. We'll put the Chrysalis on top. Go to combat, see if you want to block. I didn't think so, but worth a shot. No reason to play the Bajuka box. We'll just pass at this point. And we'll pass again. I mean, this should be the game. At most, you know, theoretically, if they hit Street Wraith into Street Wraith into Street Wraith into Street Wraith, they can bump the Mako up to 7, but that's about it. Solid win against Hollow 1 for round 1. We'll be back for round 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. Looks like we're playing against Ven. Always a pleasure. Hand is not keepable. Dude like the gemstone though. Let's see. We pitch the Bajuka Bog. Play the gemstone, we exile a breaker, and we pass. So we're looking to line up Wooded Foothills and the Talisman into Drifter onto. A lab would be good otherwise. No labs, so we fetch for a forest and Talisman and pass. Looks like they might have a Spell Snare or Spell Pierce. There's the Snare. That could prove to be a problem if we don't draw into a land. Preordain. Yeah, that could prove to be an issue, but looks like they're short on lands, which is good for us. No, then again, we are too, that we technically, quote-unquote, got a land drop, right? At least are advancing our board. Let's evoke. Perfect. Would like a colorless source, though, I will admit. Trigger. I mean, we could go another Null Drift, yeah. Pass. Fetch. Steam Vent Shock and Snapcast. Interesting. Why cast Snapcast now? Peculiar. I guess this way they can hold up a Flare of Denial. Trigger, draw. Evoke another Null Drift. Lay a Forest. So next turn we do have World Breaker. Counterspell, that's fine. If you want to counterspell that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are going to be short on the breaker. Instead we can cast the return. What you got here? Flame. Well, that's just rude. Take another 2. There's a lab. We could try and go Command X. We could. Let's play Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. And pass. See what they play, if anything. We'll take the 2 regardless. Second main. So we need a 7-mana value spell. Preordain resolves. Sporific Springs. 4 for Drake. That will resolve. I'm going to cast the K return and pass in full. So I'd love a 7-mana value spell or a temple. That will do it. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Unfortunately, we are short. But that is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll get rid of a red source and clear. And pass. And pass. Trainer finds what? A Fable, okay. Fetch for a land, plays the Fable. Draw. Another breaker. Let's go to attacks. And this should apply enough pressure. World break, the Fable, and opponent scoops it up. Opponent scoops it up, we'll take it. I'm gonna say Wizards? Control? I guess we can put it into control category. It's kind of hard to classify Sven's decks as they end up being very unique. They're very unique to Sven. Let's see. I mean, I think Justice members and K returns are fine. I don't think they have any grave hate. So let me think here. The Og is still good. Ghost Quarters is not. Devour is not bad though, is the problem, right? Let me take a look in how I manage Murktide. Yeah, I guess we do just cut Emrakul. And then run it back like this. Yeah, I think we just treat it very similar to Murktide in that sense. Because, like, short of having the Cavernous Souls or them being tapped out, Emrakul sometimes can be a bit meh. It's not great, but it is not horrible either. I'll keep. Reveal and pass. So we might just be evoking Drifters here, depending on what we find. I'd like a Soul Land off top so we could then fetch for a Breeding Pool. Bobble. Triggers, we'll activate Bobble after. We'll grab the Soul Land so we can dig deep with Drift. Bobble trigger? Nope, no Bobble trigger. I will play the Wooded Foothill and then pass. We'll hold up the ability to respond on the off chance that Dismember is relevant. Bob will target self, so they have a fetch in hand. There's a Scouting Tarn. It looks like they'll pass in full. I will fetch for a... Oh. Oh no. I missed that part. The Breeding Pool was actually in the pile, but we lucked out with Cavernous Souls on top. So I'll take that. Let's see now. I'll play the Temp and pass. Next turn we can Cavernous Souls. This also means if we draw into Writhing Chrysalis, we can cast that, right? So that's a thought process there. It was almost really bad. I completely missed that breeding pool being in the pile. Bobble. Bobble target me. Steam, then Shock, and Preordain. Preordain resolves. And pass, trigger, draw, K-return. Play Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. And let's evoke. Trigger. Do you have a consign? I mean, yeah, if you're consigning the trigger alone, then that's fine by me, right? You still have Dismember up. We'll pass. Clutch Strand and passing. Draw. A lab, you say? Okay, well, this makes things interesting. I will, again, evoke a Null Drifter. Snapcast. Yep, Snapcast will resolve. Targets the consign. And then they'll consign the Null Drift trigger. Again, this is fine by me. It's pretty low impact, all things considered. Well, Ugin Lab. I'm going to tuck the World Breaker that we have access to the Devourer next turn, as well as return this turn and Dismember. So, regardless of what they throw at me, I think we are set. We'll take the 2 from Snapcast. Is it going to be a repeat of last game, I wonder? They could play the Drake here. But I think we just, in that case, cast the return to clear the Snapcast. Yep. Gonna be a bit of a repeat of last time, friend. I'll draw. Play the Temple. 4, 5, 6, 7. So no matter what, the Drake will die. Yeah, the return is actually really strong here. They can at least force me to activate the return, which I'll gladly do, right? 2, 4, 5, 6. Next turn we can World Break. Not to mention we have access to this member. Flame. Flame is fine. And passing. Draw. Command. I will fetch. Grab a forest. Return World Break. And we'll threaten to exile Thundering Falls. That way they're forced to cast a flame before we attack. That way if they opt to deal, 5 damage to Devourer, we just choose not to. Which, I mean, those are the only two modes that they're going to be considering is deal 5 damage and draw 2, right? Of course, they could always consign the trigger, in which case then we're free to attack in. Okay. Down to 9, we'll pass. Arena of Glory. And draw. Rumble. Spell Snare resolves. Let's scry draw. And done. Counter spell. And that should be the game. GG's. It was kind of nuts, Sven. It was kind of nuts. GG's. As I say all the time, it's better lucky than good. Better be lucky than good. Solid 2-0 win for round 2. We'll be back for round 3. Alright, and we're back for round 3. On the play for game 1. Let's take a look at our opening hand, shall we? Yeah, I mean, this is solid. We'll keep... Question of the day, do we imprint? I think so. So, imprint, pass. Hold up the light to respond. Elegant Parlor. That tapped makes me scared for Ruby Storm. We'll have to wait and see. Draw. I mean, I think at this point, we could just play the Breeding Pool tap. That way, no matter what we draw, we can play either Writhing Crystal or Sowing Mycospawn. Yeah, let's do that. And pass. And pass. I'm really hoping this is energy, because if it's Ruby Storm, I think it's just a GG's. Oh, no, this is not energy, this is Ruby Storm. So we need to get that World Breaker on board. So in that case... I think here we have 5. 5 minus 2 would be 3, so not enough. Yeah, let's just do this. We could go Ghost Court. I don't think that will be enough, though. They should have enough basics to play around Ghost Court. So I think we just go Eldrazi Temp and call it a day. And then we see whether or not we lose on the spot. I mean, our game 1 against Ruby Storm is probably just abysmal. Let's see if they have to win. Ritual, Talent, play Talent, then Ritual would be my guess. So that way they can start cycling through their hand. Yeah, I want to say Ruby Storm might be like one of my worst matchups. Hands down. At least game 1. Game 2, at least we have like Stonebrain, Dismember, Nature's Claim, Soulless Jailer. We have a lot to work with in comparison. Wonder what my opponent's thinking though. I think the right line is Artist Talent, yeah, then Ritual. Trigger. Valakut. The thing is, like, here, we can't really concede because it's not deterministic that they win. It's likely that they do, but not deterministic by any stretch. Glimpse down to 1. 3 lands. Nope, Rit. Okay. Excuse me. Medallion. Interesting. Why would you play Medallion there? Unless you have nothing else. It would be interesting. Manamorphose, of course, you have something else. It's actually possible that... No, they didn't pitch anything, so yeah, Manamorphose. I guess... No, not even Past in Flames would be good right now. I've been choosing not to pitch, so they must have cards in hand that they want to play. There's Ral, and now they're trying to flip Ral. If they flip Ral, I think it's GG's. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's GG's regardless. Loses the flip. Okay. Artist Talent doesn't pitch, so they have something else to play. Another Rit. I need them to lose the flip. Lost the flip. Okay, okay. Do we get there? I have one more. Alright. Oh no, it's a Past in Flames! Okay, no, we're dead. We're 1000% dead. It no longer matters. I was so hoping that last card would just be, like, I don't know, maybe another ritual at worst, but no, it had to be a Past in Flames. Yeah. And at this point, we're just waiting for them to find a Wish or a Grape Shot, right? Because then they can just Past in Flames. That's right, it goes to exile. Strike it rich, another Past in Flames. I mean, yeah, you just impulse draw until you find Grape Shot. It's a GG's. Turn 3 GG's. There's a Desperate Ritual. I mean, no reason to cast those right now. Just continue the impulse draw, right? I'll play Manamorphose so you can cycle through your deck. It's actually probably the better play. Strike it rich. Yeah, actually, I think that would have been the better play, right? You play the Manamorphose first, draw a card. You then, whatever you draw into, you just put into grave, unless it's an impulse draw or a ritual. I mean, even then, I think you just cycle through, you play through your grave, eventually you flash it back all again with Past in Flames. Yeah, I think that probably would have been the faster way to get to the win, but it is what it is. Another Ral, you play the Ral, and then you Past in Flames it all again. I guess you don't even need to do that right now. You can just kind of hold that. Valakut Awakening. Draws a card. Ren's Resolve. Still hasn't hit a Wish or Grape Shot. Surprising. Reckless Impulse. I don't know why they wouldn't play the Ral though. Still hasn't hit it. Yeah, I feel like opponent's just playing a little bit inefficient in the grand scheme. Manamorphose, draws a card. Have you found the Grape Shot yet? Desperate Ritual. At least now they can cycle. They choose not to, though. Weird. Manamorphose. Again, also, if you'll find it weird that they just aren't playing the Rals that are in exile. There's another Impulse Draw. Hey, opponent, you put in a grape shot or a wish, right? This isn't another LSV moment where you forgot to put in your win condition. Okay. Past in Flames. Okay. More Impulse Draws. Metamorphose. Sure, sure. Still don't understand why they haven't played the Row. At least that way you would have had a way to dig 8 deep for free. Crim's Resolve. What else is in here? Oh, hey, there's a Grape Shot. And the Wish. The bottom, like, 10 cards. Alright. Yeah, you got it, opponent. I could do jack all about that. So that is Ruby Storm, lost for game 1. Let's move to game 2. And we'll bring in Jailer, Dismember, and Stonebrain. I don't think we have room to bring in the Nature's Claim as well. I feel like that'd be a bit overboarded. And speaking of, as far as that's concerned, Ruby Storm, you take out Chrysalis, Devourer, and Sire, as well as the K command, or K return? Yes, that looks right. Are we there yet? Opponent's still clicking buttons? There we go. It took a bit. Alright, on to game 2. So yeah, we're bringing in Dismember, Jailer Brain, cutting K return. We'll cut the Gemstone, the Ghost Court, and then Sire, Devourer, Chris. Because, yeah, resolving an Emrakul can be pretty solid, where, like, Devourer and Sire are kind of a bit meh. I guess Devourer's not bad, right? Maybe we actually want to cut an Emrakul here instead. The only thing is, like, Devourer doesn't interact. Yeah, I guess you could say the same for, like, the Breakers. Maybe cutting an Emrakul's a bit better than the Devourer, which can, at times, interact with, let's say, Ral, right? Yeah, I think that might be right. Also, I want to make sure of one last thing. What lands do I normally take out? Yeah, Gemstone and Ghost Court. And then we, on the flip side, we will grab out the Bajuka Bog. Okay. Yes, this looks good. Yeah, I don't really see much of a way to, like, get in the Nature's Claim, short of, like, cutting out the Writhing Crisp. I don't want to cut too deep into my mana generation. We still want to resolve World Breakers, etc. Alright. Bit slow on the brain, but we can keep. Goes down to 6. The question is what we name with brain. Past in Flames might be valid. Go Windswept Teeth and pass. And put a pause on end step. If they play the Ral, then we can dismember it. But I'm not sure if they would have any ability to do that on turn 1 now. Short of a Gemstone Cavern. Fetch for a commercial district. Trigger. Sowing Myco Spawn. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it does ramp us. We also can't really play it for another few turns. I'm going to put that in grave. Draw. Sure. Play Sanctum of Ugin. Cast Talisman and pass. Hold up Dismember. Of course, if they go Ruby Medallion first, then we're in trouble. Next turn we can play Brain and activate it. Gemstone to grave, hold up the ability to respond. Bloodstain Mire. And no setup? Really? Draw. Another command. See, the only downside here is now that we can go Brain. Okay, let's go Ugin Lab, no Imprint. I think we Brain for Ral. Brain, target you. Name Ral, Monsoon Mage. We 50-50 it basically. There's the Ral. We do hit the 50-50 with nothing but rituals in hand. So they need impulse draws is the TLDR. Alright, Ral's down. And pass. It does mean that this member is basically useless. Fetch for a Surveil land. And pass. Next turn, do we K-Command or do we Myco Spawn is a good question. There's the Arid Mesa, draw. Jesus. Myco Spawn right now really doesn't do much. So I think we just K-Command, we hold that up. Is there any reason to hold it up right now? I guess in case of like a Past in Flame scenario, you can always do that. Again, this dismember does nothing. They played a Mountain, put a pause on end step, and cast K-Command. And done. We do want the Rainforest, so Malevolent Rumble, Rainforest, draw 6/7, play the Rainforest, fetch, grab a forest, and Rumble. Yeah, I'll grab a Drift. And kick a Myco Spawn. We'll get rid of an Elegant Parlor. And Temple. And pass. And pass. Plays a Ritual. Impulse draw. There's Glimpse. Mountain Glimpse would be my guess. At least allows them the ramp, right? Ritual. Glimpse. Ritual. Okay, that's getting scary now. I mean, you haven't seen... If they had the medallion, they would have played it already, right? So why do what they're doing now? I wonder if the right move here is just to command X equals 4 to try and dig for a Soulish Jailer. Hold up a blue source for the Talisman. Or a green source. Oh, hold up a blue-green source. 3 in yard. There's the Ruby Medallion. So they could ritual up to... Let's see. It'd be a +1. So currently I have 2 up to 3. Play the medallion, then impulse. That's an option. mean, I think a Bajuka Bog might actually be good here. There's the Grape Shot. Alright. And draw Stone Brain. Well, I could just name Grape Shot now, couldn't I? So I could do a few things. If I go Sowing Mycospawn, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go Bajuka Bog, then I can't Brain is the problem. Let's start with this. So we're going to Scry Draw Ramp. We're going to hold back the Talisman. X equals 4. Well, I guess I could have X equals 5. Yeah, in retrospect, that probably would have been the move. The good news is we can still make it work. So, bottom, 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 top, cast, evoke. Yeah, because I kind of forgot here that we had the Sanctum of Ugin, so we can draw 2. We got the Jailer anyways. I'll say yes. And we will grab, I think, a second Jailer just so we can really lock it down. Jailer. Evoke. Jailer number 1. Jailer number 2. Go to combat. Attack. And then I think we just Stone Brain out Wish once Grape Shot goes to exile. Because then they can't Wish. That's fine. So Grape Shot stays in exile indefinitely. And then just Stone Brain for Wish, call it a day. Draw. Let's Dismember you. Goodbye, Magus. And then I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, no. So I will simply cast the Stone Brain. Stone Brain, target you, naming Wish. And that should ensure that they can't do anything. Opponent scoops it up. We'll get the W. As I said, game 2, game 3, we have a lot of hate pieces to work with. I want Gemstone back in. Normally Bajuka Bog just doesn't cut it because by the time that it is beneficial, they've already won, right? So that's why I normally cut Bajuka Bog. I want the Gemstone in, 21 lands. This looks good. But yeah, I think the more efficient play may have been to command X5, which would have triggered the Sanctum. We would have dug one deeper, and then would have been able to grab a Soulless Jailer, but kind of like the fact that we were able to get 2, right? I will keep Gemstone. So we can play land, Talisman, Sprawl. Yes. So I think we get rid of the Sanctum or the Drift. At the same time, the Sanctum and Drift allow me to grab a Soulless Jailer, right? Yeah. So maybe instead we get rid of the Talisman. Because we can just go Gemstone, Forest, Sprawl, Brain. And let's get rid of the Talisman. And pass. Draw. un temp. Forest for red. I guess we could go for blue, actually, in case of a Magus. Blue. Brain. Pass. Bloodstained Mire, fetch. Surveil land. The only problem is I can't play the... whatchamacallit, the Soulless Chill at the same turn. Wooded Foothills. Mountain for Ren's Resolve. Okay, so trying to set up. So I think we just go Stonebrain, target you. Name Ral. Monsoon Mage, once again 50-50. No Ral. So Ral is out. 2 Wish and 1 Grape Shot. Alright. So next turn they're likely just to drop a Magus and call it a day, right? We could just Null Drifter here and draw 2. Otherwise we can Wooded Foothill. Because, yeah, Sanctum's not going to do much if they just drop a Magus, right? Temple. Let's evoke. And draw 2. We'll pass. Dismember and Rumble. That's actually pretty solid. That way we can dismember the Magus. Manamorphose. Draws him a card. So, question of the day becomes, do they go for the Magus or not? Sunbay Canyon. And there's the Magus. And draw. Let's see. Let's Rumble. Swine Mega Spawn and Brain. So if we just go Brain, play a land, and then name Ruby Medallion, they have no mana reducers. All 4 are gone. You know, all 5, that's fine. And pass. Next turn we can always dismember. I wonder if I should just play the Wooded Foothill so that way we can grab back the World Breaker after we dismember the Magus. That might be the right move. Because, yeah, now basically their rituals are only +1s. This Impulse. Which, I mean, still isn't bad, mind you. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plays Impulse. Finds a land. But can't do anything with this now, right? Strike it rich. Yeah, I guess they can at least do that. Magus hits for 2. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty uphill battle for them at this point. Would love... I mean, we'd still love a Soulless Jailer off the top. Yeah. Draw. Windswept Heath, not going to cut it. So yes, we'll play the fetch as we intended. And then we'll hold up this member. We'll dismember it before they hit us with it. So they could, I guess, go for like a Past in Flames, but they don't exactly have that many rituals to dig all too deep. Like, we just made their deck very clunky, but it's not impossible for them to win, which is the biggest thing I want to emphasize here. We're in a good position, but still not the best. Scouting Tarn. Ritual. Cast Past in Flames. So like I said, the rituals are +1s. We know all cards available to them at this point. Unless I misclicked at some point, but I don't think I did. So now they have Manamorphose, which is mana neutral. There's the Manamorphose. Yep. So now there's one unknown in hand. Only problem is now they don't have any more rituals. They probably want to play this Glimpse before too long. Maybe not, though. The Impulse Draws are probably a bit better. Oh, from Graveyard, so they still have one in hand. Oof. Yeah, they really need to see a ritual there. So probably just cast the Reckless Impulse from... the graveyard? Yeah? Just to try and set up from grave. Yep. Well, there's Grape Shot, but it's a bit in a rough position, right? Static Prison targets a Utopia Sprawl. That's fine. Go to combat. I'll dismember the Magus of the Moon. And then on end step, I will fetch for a commercial district, set up my next draw. Cavernous Souls will not cut it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To graveyard you go. And we'll grab back the World Breaker, sacrificing the commercial district. And draw. Sowing Myco Spawn. Yeah, I guess there is a moment where I would have liked a Bajuka Bog after all. So we can go Soin Megaspawn or World Break. Both of them kind of result in the same thing at the end of the day, at least at this point in time. I think we go Sanct Mavugan, and then cast World Break. Trigger, we'll get rid of the Sunbait Canyon. That way they can't draw. Yes. For Soulless Jailer. And at that point we pass and hope we don't lose to this Grape Shot. It's gonna be interesting. Because at this point, they need to kill me. Otherwise, jailers should just lock them out. Arid Mesa fetch, down to 16. For our mountain. Scouting Tarn fetch, down to 15. For our mountain. Plays an Arid Mesa. Fetch. I think they have one more Impulse draw, so one unknown. Past in Flame's not doing much right now unless they find some rituals. Comes down to these Impulse draws, right? I feel like they've already went through a lot of rituals too. A decent amount. I guess only 2, and then the Manamorphose, which is mana neutral. Yeah, I think that's going to be close. Next turn we can swing Mycospawn, kick, grab a land, fetch, Soulless Jailer, and then smack in for 5. Yeah. Oh, they did find a ritual. Okay. Past in Flames. I feel like they should have played that later though, right? Desperate Ritual enters exile. So they're left with 3. Strike it Rich, which is mana neutral. So now they need to Impulse draw, or they're forced to Grape Shot. The thing is, even if they Impulse draw, they can't then cast anything, so their only option is to get Grape Shot into Yard, right, for 5 damage. I don't think they have any other choice. Yep. So they deal me 5. And draw. K command. So in that case, I can play Windswept Heath. I think I actually hold up the K command. Play Soulless Jailer. And then go to combat. This way we can get rid of the Past in Flames in Yard. So all they have is a Reckless Impulse and an Elegant Parlor. And draw. Ugin Lab. No impulse. No imprint, rather. Hello? Oh. My cat just cleaned herself. I'm like, what just happened behind me? 5. And do we kick a Myco spawn? No, I think we just hold the command again. Static Prison. Give me back my Utopia Sprawl. I will go for blue. And attach it to Forest. Manamorphose, draws a card. And this might be the last card they draw. Because that Reckless Impulse does nothing, and we got there. Solid stuff. Was not all too confident going into this match, but between Stonebrain and Jailer, we got there. That said, we'll be back for round 4. Alright, and we're back for round 4 on the play for game 1. Hey, it's House of Mana. Well, we know what we're playing up against. That makes his hand all that much more meh, right? Because I'd really love a 7 mana value spell, so we could have gone into a kicked Myco spawn on 3. If we draw into a 7 mana value spell on 2, can we still get there? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to draw another land, so, I mean, is it possible? Yes. It's a slow start, though. We'll keep. I go down to 6. Yeah, so we need to either draw into another land on turn 2, or a 7 mana value spell, and then the inverse the turn after. And that should get us a kicked Myco spawn on 3. I'll play Breeding Pool tapped, and pass, and pass. Amulet, that's a rough start. Yeah, Mycosynth into Amulet, yeesh. Alright, well that's a land, but now we need a 7 mana value spell. Done. Unfortunately, we don't have... No. Yeah, I guess we only needed the 7 mana value spell off the top. Because now we're short. Oh, Jesus Christ almighty. Talisman won't cut it, so we'll go land. We whiff. We'll go temp. Oh, I'm dumb as bricks. I should have grabbed Ghost Quarter. Given that they have Amulet here, Ghost Quarter actually would have been right. Shoot. Yeah, I was thinking about the follow-up turn. Hold up, what? I feel like my opponent accidentally passed. Second main. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. Two, three. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can simply go Talisman, kick. Echoing Depths. And Ghost Quarter. Do it. Yeah, I want to say that mistakes were made on all sides here. I didn't attack because I didn't know what the hell is going on. So this will activate 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I can actually do this one. So now they have 4 for Explore. Otawara. Filter for another Explore. And Passing. Play the Wooded Foothill. Play Talisman of Impulse. Go to Combat. Down to 14. Filter, green, explore. They must be looking for a Lotus Field. Fetch of the Wooded Foothill. For a commercial district. Trigger. 11th Rumble top. And draw. There's World Breaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get rid of an amulet. You know, like I said, they need specifically a Lotus to get around the Ghost Quarter. Another amulet, Jesus. Yeah. We have lethal on board, so they need to go for it now. I'll say that will be rather unfortunate for them if they lose game 1 due to a misclick. Trying to think what their way out here would be. It would have to be specifically a Lotus, right? Yeah. Alright. A win's a win. So I'll take it. Let's go to game 2. And we want Jailer Brain and Claim, I think, if I remember correctly. Let's take a look at my sideboard guide. We're on the draw against Amulet Titan. So 2 Emrakul, 3 returns, 1 Bog. So 2 Emrakul, 3 returns, 1 Bog, and 3 Chrysalis. Okay. I wonder if we do want to drop like a Sire's 7 Deaths, actually. No, we already cut the 2 mana values, or 2 7-mana value spells, so I can't. But I guess I could cut Sire over Emrakul, as I feel like Sire isn't doing much in this matchup. Devourer can get rid of Spelunking, hence why I do want to keep it. So I think maybe we do that. So drop that down and drop a Sire instead. Okay, yeah, that looks better. All right, let's run this back. Because the nice thing about Emrakul is we can always Emrakul, take control of their turn, clear their board, and also Escape Shift. On the draw, I will keep Reveal Devourer and pass. So we're looking for Stonebrain here. There's an Amulet. Trigger. We lack green sources, so the Cavern of Souls might be right. Yes, let's go Cavernous Souls. Imprint Devourer. Play Stone Brain and pass. So this way we can strip out. I guess that's a good question what we want to strip out. Lotus Field is a genuine thought. Honestly, there's Amulet Titan. Or not Amulet Titan, Primeval Titan, Jesus. Brain was on the fritz right there. You have Visage you. You do. Yeah, maybe we should have gone for the second lab. Let's go Commercial District. Trigger, command, put it on top. I will still play a Sanctum of Ugin. Or Temple, or Cavern Souls. Let's go Cavern of Souls, name Eldrazi. And since they're going for Amulet Vigor, we're going to go for Ghost Quarter. And kind of just hold them hostage again. Ghost Quarter in the Saga doesn't really make much sense. The biggest issue will be if they end up going for Spelunking. Because Spelunking gets around Ghost Quarter, which means we'll need to devour the Spelunking for Ghost Quarter to have any value again. Well, I guess Ghost Quarter still cuts it down from, you know, 1 to 2. So yes, we will Ghost Quarter. And we'll pass in full at this point. There's Spelunking. Oh, Jesus, Lotus Field. I mean, they didn't even need to play the bounce land at that point. Yeesh. So, do you have GSC for 6? Primeval Titan, don't even need the GSC. So, yeah, I wonder if maybe going for the second lab would have been right. And playing the Stone Brain a turn late. The problem is they could have also still besaged us and slowed us down a turn, so it may have not mattered. I want them to go through the motions. I mean, I know House of Mana knows their deck, so I'm not exactly worried about that. But I do always like to keep up with their play patterns. So they're going to go for another Mirror Pool loop. Yeah, Echoing Depths, Mirror Pool, into another Lotus. Oh, is it? Oh, it's Vesuva and Echoing Depths. I see. Now T-West, Simic Growth. What this will then allow them is to go after a Aftermath Analyst. Yeah, I mean, they had the right cards to play around the Ghost Quarter. I still think I was right for getting the Ghost Quarter instead of holding up a K command. But now they grab Summoner's Pack. Summoner's Pack grabs Analyst. And now they can theoretically make Infinite Titans and haste Infinite Titans. As well as just strip my entire board. Whether that be Beseiju, whether that be Otawara, etc. Because at the very least they're going to need to copy another Titan. So that way Titan can grab Shifting Woodland. They have 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 types in Yard. So yeah, they'll need to grab another copy of Titan. And then Titan will be used as the bridge to Shifting Woodland for the Aftermath Analyst. That's something I talk about all the time. That Aftermath Analyst is the plan. And I think a lot of people still think that like Primeval Titan is. But without Aftermath Analyst, Titan can no longer OTK. It really does revolve around Aftermath Analyst or Lumra. And it's pretty much a toss-up whether or not they play just a Analyst or also a Lumra. But yeah, it's why I also do consider maybe a good Stonebrain target might be Lotus Field, because Lotus Field is what allows for this loop to also exist, not just the Analyst. So I do wonder if maybe Lotus Field is a good target instead, because it's what gets things into Graveyard for Aftermath Analyst to actually do its thing. So without Lotus Field, I think that might be right. So if we had been able to stick Brain and then activate it, I think naming Lotus Field may have been the right move. Funny enough. But it didn't matter, did it? And shifting Woodlands again for Aftermath Analyst. And now basically what they can do from here is they can just continuously haste the Titans. They can make more copies, haste more Titans, at least 2 Titans per loop. And then from here, then they'll just get 1 more Titan. I guess actually, do they even need 1 more Titan? No, they have 5. Never mind. Yeah, they have 30 damage. So at this point, it just comes down to them going through the loop and hasting 2 Titans per loop. So they just need to do this loop 1 more time, and they're solid. The alternative here, of course, is going for the Dryad Valakut loop, but they don't even need to go down that route. And then shifting Woodlands 1 more time. It is interesting seeing the loops in action, hence why I don't always just concede. A, because time is a resource, make them use it, but B, because it does demonstrate what the opposing deck is trying to do, whether that be Ruby Storm, whether that be Brute Scale, etc. You know, it then allows me, and also you guys, to kind of see, okay, how can we interact with this in a meaningful way? And the answer in this case was just, you know, get Lotus Field out. You know, we needed our Stonebrain to activate, but unfortunately they did end that thought. All right. Well, that's a loss for game 2. On to game 3. So I will cut the gemstone and bring in a Chrysalis and run it back. On the play for game 3. There's Jailer, there's Nature's Claim. Both are solid. I will keep Wooded Foothills and pass. Amulet Vigor, pause on end step. Fetch for a Stomping Ground shock. Nature's Claim, the Amulet, and draw. Tempted to go Breeding Pool Talisman. At the same time, we could just go Jailer, but it's not like they're going to fire off next turn, so I think we have time. And pass, and pass. This way, ideally, if we draw into a lab, sanctum, a land, yeah, so this works. Let's go. We could go Ghost Quarter as another way to force them. Yeah, let's just go Ghost Quarter and hold a turn. So this cuts off their Amulet of Vigor lines. 3 for Spelunking, 6. Oh, this is interesting. Non-land permanents card in your graveyard have retrace, so this way they can grab back an Amulet. Good news is, Jailer should stop that. Drifter. Debating. I think we just play Talisman Jailer. And then pass. Can't cast non-creature spells from graveyard. Yes, that includes the Amulet. Mill 3 cards, put a land card from among them. Yeah, I do need to deal 6 at some point soon. What I need is a land. Picks up the Mycosynth. Go to blocks. I'll block. Yeah, I was not expecting 6 here, to be honest. Arboreal Grazer. There's Mycosynth Forest. So I'm now worried about just like a natural cast Titan, right? And draw. So if that's the case, I think we just go the Stone Brain. And then Stone Brain the Titan. Primeval Titan. Because, yeah, I'm just most scared of them just hard casting that now. And for good reason. So they're on Colossus. Doesn't look like they're on Lumra. So Titan's out. Colossus as well as Saga constructs are the real concern. And at this point, might as well attack into the Sowing Mycospawn. Down to 21. They'll attack with 6, trigger 6. Chooses Forest. We'll block with Jailer. There's Explore. And Spelunking. There's Simic Growth. What do you bounce? Bounce, Simic Growth. That stays in hand. So we know 2 cards in hand right now. Simic Growth. Okay. Bounce to hand again. What's the play here? Forest 5, Scape Shift. Okay. So now they can Besage you the Jailer. Triggers will go on the stack though, so I should be able to Ghost Quarter the Besage you. So then, yes, I'm going to Ghost Quarter Besage you. At this point, we pass in full. Nothing else can be done. So So Besage out. Choose not to use the ability of Ghost Quarter. There's a cave search for another Besage. Yeah, that was my concern there. They pick up the Besage now. Razor for Simic Growth. They pick up the Simic Growth. I think they do have this, unfortunately. 4 types in yard, commercial district, forest into yard, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's the Aftermath Analyst. And I think they should have enough here to win. Since with the, is that a Vesuva? They're able to then make a second Lotus Field. Not to mention the Urza Cave, which can also grab one. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Not much could have been done there. Like, we knew they were going to hardcast a Titan, so we had to bring Titan, right? Yeah, I think that was still the correct line. So I'm curious how they then proceed here. Shifting Woodlands, there's 5 types in yard, so they can continuously shifting Woodland. They need to go for the Valakut line, question mark? They do have the Mirror Pool, so they can mill, or self-mill rather. I'm actually trying to remember if I saw Valakut there. I don't think I did, so they have to go for a board full of Colossi, right? Yeah. There's T-West. Seiju, yes. Forest. So they can just pretty much rinse repeat this and Beseiju my board. That's the thought, I'd imagine. That'll leave me with 3 forests, basically. So not ideal by any stretch, but also not the end of the world either. I guess they can also Otawara my Sowing Mycospawn, though I'm not sure if that actually is desirable. But I'm not actually dead here is the biggest thing. But they, for all intent and purpose, have infinite mana. T-West, transmute for Summoner's Pact for Colossus. Okay, there it is. I think that's what I've been waiting for, because now they should be able to make infinite Colossi and then just run me over. And basically the same way they did so last game. Yeah, this seems correct at this point. They should have a confirmed kill. Because, yeah, an 11-11, they can haste that. The Jukabog target me. That ensures that we have no way forward for Emrakul. Because, yeah, if we were given a turn into an Emrakul, we could choose not to pay for the Summoner's Pact triggers. So, yeah, once again, there's looping the Besejus. Beseju will then go after another land, rinse, repeat. Though they probably should have played the Bajukabog later, I suppose. I don't think it matters. I think they have the win. There's Aftermath Analyst, because, yeah, they can retrace. That's right. Yeah, Escape Shift. 'Tis unfortunate. We actually don't have our 3rd forest. Our third forest must already be in exile. Yeah, look at that. Unfortunate. So at this point in time, oh, they never sacked. Whoa, weird. Hold on. Did they never sack? Oh, they did. I was like, I thought for a second the Lotus were just on field tapped. I was really confused why they would have left that. Because, yeah, now they should be able to just haste the Titans. They don't even need to continue through this. If they just haste the Titans, they win, right? But, like, if they want to go the long route, by all means. Because, like, they have the for all intent purpose win, which is besiege my board, auto-war my creatures, I'm left with 2 forests and pass. And they also have the I can haste both of these Cultivator Colossuses and just win. Yeah, they could just do that. But I guess they want to just go for it. Yep. I'm gonna say nope. Jukabog, target me. Are we hasting Colossi yet? No? Alright. Aftermath Analyst, still going. I mean, I'm doubtful this is the case, that they forgot about Hainmere Battlements hanging out on their board, able to haste the Colossi. Because all I have to do is Hainmere Battlements, target the Cultivator Colossus, haste it, sacrifice it to Lotus Field, Aftermath Analyst again to return the Hainmere Battlements. Oh, well, no, it doesn't come to play tapped. Does that matter? No, it doesn't matter. So why not just kill me? Okay. Sprawl. For red. Talisman. Pass. I'll play it to the end, friend. I'll play it to the end. No point in attacking. You'll pay for your many packs that you had, which you should have plenty of mana to do, so I'm not exactly concerned about that. Then you'll attack in with your how big frickin' Cultivator Colossuses? 16/16s? You got it. GG's. Alright. Well, the Scape Shift did us in. I feel like we still chose correctly with the Stone Brain. It just was unlucky that they ended up finding the Scape Shift to find the Beseiju, because otherwise the Soulless Jailer was locking down the Ren and 6. So I think we were fine. I think we also could have got into the Emrakul a little bit faster. So a lot of things just happened to go wrong. But that's Magic for you. Sometimes win some, sometimes lose some. But with that being said, we'll be back for round 5. Alright, and we're back for round 5 on the play for game 1. Let's take a look. 7-mana value spell would make this a whole lot better, so I think we'll just go Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. Keep, yeah, let's do that. It's a bit slower than I'd like, but it's tenable. Also, I did go back and start to watch the match against House of Mana. So I passed the turn, and before I could press 6 on my keyboard, they passed their turn. That's concerning. So this looks like the Corey Steelcutter Prowess deck, if I had to wager a bet. So I really do want a 7-mana value spell here. Off the top, please. Sprawl will not cut it, so we'll go Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. At the very least, this does get us to ramp, right? Sprawl. And we'll go for red and pass. Next turn we do have the K return. Preordain. 2, 4. If we do draw a 7 advice spell, we can kick. Otherwise, we can either hold up K return or command. Both are good options. Bloodstainmire, fetch. Down to 19. Steam Vent Shocks down to 17. And DRC. So yeah, sweeping here seems good. Temp. So I can temp, kick Myco Spawn, and then Bojuka Bog. That turns off DRC. Yeah. And let's get rid of the Steam Vents. On the off chance they play a Verge land, I don't think they would. And then Bojuka Bog, target you. No DRC, please. And pass. It is a mountain. Preordain. Bobble into yard. Preordain resolves. Lightning bolt target Myco Spawn. Yeah, you got it. Jesus, 6 damage down to 9. And draw. I mean, I think we need to... I guess maybe I should just K return last turn. I wasn't expecting them to be able to hit all of that. Let's see here. Scry, draw, exile. So... and done. So bottom, top, and top, land, return. Pass, and pass. Yeah, if I just return instead of the Myco Spawn, I would have been 6 up at 15. Wooded Foothills fetch. I could actually die right here. There's a world. Consider their options. I guess I could be at least at 3 if they bolt me. Preordain, so I'm at 6. Yeah. So like in retrospect, I probably should have just K return and swept. I was hoping that they would commit more to board and I'd be able to block, but clearly not. Let's start with Rumble. There's Emrakul. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think I played a land. Emrakul it is. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Trigger, no imprint. Do I need to K return right now? Probably not, but they also could have another haste creature I might want to kill, so I'll say yes for now. We're at a low life total. Opponent's gonna scoop. Opponent scoops, we'll take it. So this looks like Prowess. Win for game 1. If it is Prowess, wonder if we just treat it similar to Burn, just keep. Like the returns are fine. I wonder if I do need to worry about like a Ragavan. So like I wonder if we just go aggro package similar to what we would for energy. And so we would cut Emrakul. Let's see, for energy, cut 2 Emrakul, 1 Ghost Quarter. Yeah, let's do that. I don't imagine a Ghost Quarter is relevant. I guess actually I'm not sure the Bajuka Bog will be relevant either, so I think I'll cut that, keep 1 more Emrakul. Yeah, that seems right. And then just swap the Ghost Quarter for the Gemstone if we make it to game 3. I feel like Sire 7 Deaths will be an absolute house this match, so if we do end up with that in hand, we're in a strong spot. On the draw for game 2, I will keep 7 mana, not 7 mana value, but a soul land off the top is strong. We have Dismember, which will be good. There's Swift Spear, hit me for 1. We can Dismember it if needed. Draw, Talisman, Temp, and pass. Hold up Dismember. Bauble trigger. They can pump it probably 2 more times. Bauble target self, so that's a fetch in hand. Here's the fetch. They can only pump it twice. I wonder if Dismembering now would be right. Yeah, let's just go ahead and Dismember. This thing's going to deal us 4 damage regardless. Oh, interesting. Do they have a way to pump it more than 2 toughness? What, like a monstrous rage? Do they actually play that? Bolt, target me. Down to 12. Lava dart, and then flash it back? Oh no. Yeah, that's a play right there. Dang. Okay. And draw. In that case, I think we go Verdant Cat and then threaten to exile it, right? Hell, I think we might just do it now. Probably just hold. Yeah, that was one hell of a play. Jesus. Tis a mountain. Quarry Steel Cutter. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 monk creature, then attach this equipment to it. So it is Steel Cutter after all. Prowess. Bauble trigger. Then equip. Go to combat. Fetch. I don't think I can fetch shock. The awkward part is that this has trample. So I think I actually need to exile the monk. If we do that... No, so we'll still go forest. Do we go forest? Actually, I'm wondering. Yeah, we'll still go forest. And then we will command X1. And exile the monk since that has trample. And then block the Monastery Swift Spear. And draw, bauble target me. Emrakul. Okay. Commercial District, trigger, Malevolent Rumble top. And we'll pass holding up K command, X equals 1 again. Manamorphose trigger. So I might kind of just do the same thing again. Monastery Swift Spear, that's a bit frightening actually. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna have to get rid of the monk token again. Another bauble. Go to combat. So block the 4/5, take 3 down to 6. Thankfully we can sweep board next turn. And done. So block the 4/5. And take the 3 down to 6. Bauble target me, that's fine. So you see the Malevolent Rumble. I really want to rumble here, but I think I need to return and call it a day. Cast the K return and pass. All will target me again. And pass. Preordain. So looking for another spell to cast to trigger Corey's Steel Cut. Bolt, yeesh. Down to 3. If they... Okay. Well, now this is tricky. There's Chrysalis. And pass. So now we should be able to block the token, no problem. Of course, a Lava Dart kills me. So Steel Cutter triggers Steel Cutter. This is fine, actually, because it'll become a 2/2 tramp. We can block with both spawns and then Oh, we can't sacrifice them. Oh no. Actually, we just die, don't we? Yeah, we just die. Because you attach Steel Cut. Oh no, no. We're fine. Because Steel Cut will attach to Monk. We double block the Monk. Yeah, no, this is okay. We're not dead. Almost dead. We're not dead. Play attack. And go to blocks. We block here. 3, block here, block here. We cannot sacrifice the tokens. We pass. Alright. Draw. Temp. I am going to cast the Rumble. That should put us up to 5 types in yard. Yeah, I think I have to do it like this, because we can't evoke the Null Drifter since we're at 1. don't think that's enough. 2, 3, 4, 5. We can't cast the Chrysalis. Yeah, I can't cast anything. Can we? Yeah, no to all. Only puts up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got it. Okay, yeah, Core Steelcutter and multiples of them are going to be a bit interesting to play around, aren't they? I do wonder if maybe I should have fetched, like I thought of going for a red source a turn sooner to clear. But we will bring back Ghost Quarter and run it back like this. On the play for game 3. You need a 7-mana value spell at the top, but this is return on turn 2. So go Forest, Utopia Sprawl red. At the very least, the lab allows us to return, and dismember, into command. Well, actually, no. Command, we need another color source, but otherwise... It's very reactive, but if we can just burn all their resources, then what does it matter, right? Down to 6. Forest, Sprawl, red, and pass. And pass. Arid Mesa, fetch. I'm gonna guess probably gonna be a Monastery Swiftspear. Yep. Bauble trigger. Bauble target me. Hopefully they saw a 7-mana value spell. That would be ideal for the command. And draw. So I think we play the Misty Rain. Do I pass or do I sweep? That's the question, right? Fetch with Misty Rain. I think I just sweep here. Forest. Okay, return. And pass. And pass. Bauble. That tells me they don't have another Swiftspear target self. And draw. And draw. Lab. Imprint. And pass. Fetch. Surveil land. And pass. Hold out the ability to respond. On end step, cast command, x equals 3. Done. Consign to memory. Yep. And pass. And draw. Let's cast Rumble. Another Emrakul. think we grab Chrysalis. Cast Chrysalis. Gonna have a body on board. Consign. Yeesh. Yep. We'll pass. They also had a pretty reactive hand. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are 4 short of Emrakul. That is brutal. Steel Cutter. Do you have a follow-up? You do. Lava Dart. Trigger Steel Cutter. Take 2 down to 14. Lab. Is there a reason to play it? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, a soul land won't get us there. I feel like we need to hold this return. No reason not to play the lab. Actually, I guess there is. We draw into a 7-mana value spell. Because then it'd be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll pass. Manamorphose Prowess. Another Steel Cutter. Yeesh. They still have this Lava Dart. Surprised they didn't Lava Dart. We just take the 5. I mean, we can sweep next turn. Yes. We'll take the 5 down to 9. Unless they cast Lava Dart. This Dismember feels pretty bad right now. Fetch. Mountain. Yeah, right now 5 down to 9. And if they pump the monk one more time, then we might as well dismember because we take 4 damage or we take 4 damage, right? Prowess trigger. Okay, return. Of course, they have another Lava Dart. Jesus. So, in that case, I take 4 damage regardless. At least this way I'm not taking 5. Yeah, they might just have me here. Goes down to 8. They can push me down to 4, down to 3, down to 2. Yes. I imagine they hold the lava dart for next turn. You got to be joking me. 5, yeah. Ghost Court, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's not gonna cut it. Yikes. So it comes down to what they draw. If they draw land, then we're still here. Oh no, we're still dead, aren't we? Because they just lava dart target me. Down to 3. Yeah, we're dead. Storm Chaser's Talent. Interesting. Okay, yeah. I mean, they got it. They have the lava dart to finish it out. And that also will trigger the 2 Quarry Steel Cutters. Yeah, that card's actually kind of nutty. I'm not gonna lie. They equip it to the Otter, giving it haste. I mean, then when it unequips, I guess they don't have to. Whenever you cast, is it a may or a must? You may attach it. That's important to note. Yeah. Yeah, the K returns don't cut it all too well, do they? Very interesting. I guess the question is like, is this the aggro deck going forward? It's a lot of 1-mana value spells, so I feel like Tron right now is off of main deck Chalice. But if this becomes prevalent, all it does is forces Tron to move back on Chalice main. And like the play rate of this deck drops. So I feel like E-Ramp really can't do much to combat this and just kind of wait for the meta to settle. But it is interesting seeing this deck. So happy that I played against it. It'll be something that I have to kind of think about a bit more how to play around. But I think just like make sure you K return on their turn or on your turn. Basically, you want to play at sorcery speed is more or less the gist of it. As much as you want to like hit their additional monk tokens, I think just playing at sorcery speed so that way they can't grow the monks out of range. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm walking away with this. That said, we'll be back for round 6. Alright, and we're back for round 6 on the play for game 1. Let's take a look at our opening hand. We will keep. This is a turn 2 Myco spawn into a turn 3 breaker. Imprint, cast, and pass, and pass. Thundering Falls, Surveil trigger. Spectral Denial? Huh? Excuse me? Utopia Sprawl on Forest. For red. Cast Myco Spawn. For Eldrazi Temple. And pass. And pass. Temple Garden Shock. Is this Zoo? It is Zoo. Interesting. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So I can go Rumblin'. So green, float red, and colorless. Cyrus 7 Deaths was good here. Let's go Sire. So 2, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shock. This way, if they have, let's say, a Leyline Binding, we can deal with that with World Breaker. 2, 4, 5, 6, yeah. We're in a solid spot. Like, I don't foresee a way of them really dealing with Sire all too well. I guess that's another thing that ERAM can just pivot if that Prowess deck with Corey Steelcutter becomes more popular. Is just probably pivot away from Temur, maybe more towards Gruul, and or just increase the number of Sire 7 that's used. Yeah, probably. Because they land out on turn 3, turn 4, and then they kind of just sit there and stare at it and go, what do? What do I do about this? The answer is, you don't. Shock. Pay 2 for a Leyline Binding, I'd imagine. Tribal Flames, target Sire. Interesting. And then Bolt. That is... That's a choice. Well, you definitely can't attack now. Wow, that was unexpected, opponent. I'll give you that. Let's see. Let's play Temp. Let's shrink the Kavu by grabbing... I guess we could either do green-white or red-blue. Let's grab green. Go to combat. You'll need to block. Kavu down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we can play anything in our deck. So I'll just return World Breaker on end step. Bone scoops it up. I'm going to say that this is probably Zoo. Win for game 1. Deal themselves 14 damage. I was not expecting that, I'll be real. We bring in Dismember, returns. Let me confirm with my sideboard. On the draw against Zoo, we cut Devourer, Emrakul, and a Ghost Quarter. Devourer, Emrakul, and Ghost Quarter. Because I do play Flage, so Bojuka Bog's relevant. Gemstone, obviously, on the draw. We can bring back in either Emrakul or Devourer. Probably See, Devourer doesn't play well into, let's say, a Scion. But Emrakul kind of feels rough because of Leyline. Sire, though, felt fantastic. I mean, I don't think they can really do much about Sire's 7 deaths. Spectral was interesting, though. I was not expecting that. I wonder if it's like in replacement of Stubborn Denial? Maybe. Opponent's going to be bringing in, I imagine, some number of Charmaw, Consign. Not sure if anything else, so we should probably play around Charmaw to the best of our ability. Charmaw start to see an uptick in play rate. Should actually check what the number is now. Let's see. Cards popular for modern. And top creatures. And still hasn't broken top 10 again. And like 8% of decks. I'll keep this. And pass. Forest, Sprawl. Set up for a Talisman Rumble. A Mountain, a Ragavan. Draw, Chrysalis, Forest, Sprawl on red, and pass, and pass. So yeah, ideally we're going Windswept Teeth, Talisman into Rumble. I'll take the 2, not that I have much of a choice. Ragavan. Oh, I would have wanted that. Opponent. Come now. Don't be rude. Land. Fetch. Temple for Kavu. Brawler. That's a bit unexpected, but okay. Draw. Forest. In that case, we can go Talisman. And Rumble. Yeah, we can set up for World Break. And pass. We'll snap block the Ragavan. I should actually hold up the ability to respond on the off chance they cast a Flage. But we are blocking the Ragavan. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. And if we can just bog up the board with Chrysalis into Chrysalis and the World Breaker, all the while holding up command, I think we're in a solid spot. In fact, is there an argument to not blocking with the Eldrazi spawn? Because that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. We do have the mana. I think we do need to block the Ragavan. Just don't exactly want them rampant any more than they already are. We block. Arid Mesa fetch. For what? Monstrous Rage? Well, I guess they can pump the Brawler. Right. Put up to a 4-3. I might go for a Triumph, though. Down to 14. Another Brawler. And draw. Breeding Pool. In that case, we will play the Windswept Teeth and cast Chrysalis. Do you have a consign? A consign would be, I think, a death sentence. Oof. Yeah, that's not good. So that's going to be 10 damage down to 4. And if they just have a Tribal Flames, we lose on the spot. Oofta. Thundering Falls. Down to 2. Dugan's Lab, would have liked that. Problem is they have Trample. Flage for the win. Yeah, you got it. Oof. Loss for game 2, on to game 3. Yeah, that well-timed consign will get you. We will cut the gemstone. The question is for the Devourer or for an Emrakul? I feel like Emrakul is more impactful in this matchup. So let's go Emrakul. I shall only see what I say in my matrix, just for the sake of consistency. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Cool. Let's run it back. On the play for game 3. Soul lands off the top, get us to a Chrysalis on 2. We'll keep it. A land gets us to a return on 2 if we don't play the Talisman. Stomping Ground Shock. Utopia Sprawl for red. Maybe it's better to go green so we have access to green-green, because we really don't need a red-red all too often. So we go green-red here, or red-green, yeah. Green. Pass. And pass. Wooded Foothills, fetch for Ragavan. Steam Vents, shock, and tis the monkey. And draw. Yeesh. Talisman. Of course, Ragavan's gonna hit my godforsaken land off the top. At the very least, we will be able to hit the Ragavan next turn. To combat. Hits me for 2. Swain Mega Spawn, would have loved that. Oh, well, maybe not, actually. Kind of fine if you're hitting that. Granted, I hit a land, that is. 2, 3. Wear Tear. Jeez. We need a land ASAP. Oh, God. Yeah, I think they just won that off the Wear Tear. That's brutal. I mean, we had so many good hits off the top. I still feel comfortable with keeping this hand in retrospect, but like, yeesh. Yeah, go off, opponent. Hit the temple again. Kavu. And draw. Yeah, you got it. That's going to be another 6 down to 8. Yeah, I think this win here. Yeah. Because even if we had that temple, we would have been able to start making our way back. Pitches the bolt, really? Down to 8. Why do you pitch the bolt? Unless you have like double tribal flames. Even then, if you have a tribal flames bolt, you just win. So yeah, why pitch the bolt there? 3 for a flage, 4 for... Oh, my Chrysalis. You can do that. I'm in danger. What do you count? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we lose. I will say not seeing a single land across 4 draws is rough. Yeah. Could we have mulliganed that hand? Yeah. Did I think that we had a good shot of drawing into action that would have gotten us there? Also, yeah. I mean, at the very least on 2, we play the Talisman regardless of, so we hit our quote-unquote land drop, right? That allows us to hold up the return for the following turn. We have another Talisman thereafter to potentially get us into the Chrysalis, which then can get us into the command, etc. One land ends us giving us a Chrysalis on 3. A soul land gives us on 2. So I mean, I feel like with what? We had 22 lands. One of them tapped. So 21 hits off the top. 8 of them ideal. I mean, we're looking at better than 33%, so I feel justified in keeping that hand, but oof. Big oof. Well, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. Sometimes you try and play the odds, and sometimes the odds play you. So, with that being said, that there will be the end of today's video. That there will end our record with 3-3 at the end of 6. I'm pretty sure we're already knocked out of contention for top 8, regardless of the result of this match, just because we did end up with an X2 record. So this was just for Horizon. So, can't really complain too much. Overall, had a solid league. I'm starting to think that maybe Sire's 7 Deaths is going to be a mainstay teamer. I haven't been a big fan of Sire for a while, just because cast triggers have been king for such a long time. But after seeing the results from today, even though it only showed up like in 1 or 2 games, it does feel pretty solid given the meta. It isn't horribly counter heavy. Of course, there is control, there is Murktide. But Devour feels arguably worse than it ever has for whatever reason. So it'll be interesting to see over time if whatchamacallit, if Sire will go up in number, and if we drop whether it be Worldbreaker, Devourer, maybe an Emrakul. Emrakul's numbers have kind of been hit or miss recently. So whichever one, regardless, we will be adjusting the deck bit by bit as needed. There's also always the possibility if Eldrazi Ramp or Tron's numbers do trend down that we might just go back to Gruul in full, because then we don't have to dedicate as much flexibility. Then again, I don't know. I mean, Consign is the benefit of Temur, and it's great into the mirror, as well as other decks. But also, Null Drift is just a fantastic card that cannot be ignored. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the direction of Ramp. There's also the possibility that if artifact-centric decks rise in popularity and play rate, that we might be going back to a pre-BNR list with Karn, where we end up cutting the Chrysalis for Karn. So, also a possibility, but only time will tell there. With that being said, though, folks, that there will be the end of today's video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or just some general feedback. It is always appreciated, for as much as I hope that you all learn from me and both my success and failure, I hope to learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. With that being said, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.